Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, KG, and with me tonight is ECW, WCW veteran, as well as the author of Looking Up at the Lights, Mr. Robbie Idol, and back after being gone for a few weeks. It's none other than the WCW veteran, Florida Championship Wrestling veteran, WWE veteran, Wrestling Hall of Famer, the Cooker, Bob Cook. How are you gentlemen doing?
Good. How you doing, KG?
Man, I'm doing all right, as long as I'm inside.
Right.
You know, major snowstorm over here.
Should have used the cough button. Oh, I don't have one.
So, Bob, I guess the first question is, you know, a lot of fans, you know, they've really been concerned about you. Is how are you feeling?
Well, I feel better than I did last week. Exactly a week from today, actually.
Yeah.
When a doctor come in and said, "Hey, you had a heart attack, dummy." And I thought, oh, I figured that was coming, but not this soon.
Well, glad you made it to the hospital. Glad you survived it, and glad you're back on this podcast.
Well, you know, there are moments I feel the same way. Then there are other moments where I say, "Why did I go?" Because the demons around me.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and I don't mean the ones in my head.
You still, we all have demons, man. But
I don't mean those.
You definitely have a purpose. That's why you're still here.
Really? To goggle young girls that I can't have. Is that what they call it? Google? What's the word? Go to the mall and sit and watch them walk by thinking, well, if I was young again, I still couldn't have them, but at least you can think about it.
Yeah, you know, you can't beat Father Time, unfortunately. We're all getting older. Including John Cena, actually, who is less than a week before his final match. Raw last night spoke a lot about that. Overall, I got to be honest, I didn't mind Raw last night. There was maybe one or two matches that I didn't care about, not because they weren't good. It's just I'm not invested into those characters. There were still good matches, though. But yeah, overall, man, Raw, it was a quick 2+ hours, in my opinion. Man, Bob, did Raw last night take your mind off of things? Was it that good?
No, it wasn't a bad show.
Right.
Give me something to stare at aimlessly.
Yeah. What about you, Robbie? Robbie, what'd you think about Raw?
It was okay. There was a couple moments we could have done without. Well, I guess we'll get into it down the road when we get there. But there's a couple I question creative or whoever says this is a good idea. When we get there, I'll talk about them. Those few things I could have done without, but it was okay. I mean, overall, most of the matches were really good.
Right now, that was the go home show for Saturday night main event. So being that it was a go home show, did you guys have the bar of expectation higher than a normal Raw show, Bob?
I've learned not to have high expectations about anything. Like when they were bringing me food at the hospital, I wasn't thinking, ooh, it's going to be a steak this time. Oh shit. No, it's not.
You know, we have a hospital here in Minnesota that there's actually a McDonald's in it.
Really?
Yeah.
The food wasn't actually that bad though. It was heart healthy food. That was the worst part, right? Because it's like they're making eat healthy, like a mix of vegetables and stuff I would never eat normally.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes about a year and a half ago, and never a big. Well, I gave up drinking many years ago, but I was a foodie, and now that's gotten taken away from me because literally the only thing I can eat and be safe is, maybe go to the backyard and graze on some grass and drink some water. It's kind of how I feel with type 2 diabetes, but it takes a long time. It takes some time to adjust to it, but I got there, and you'll get there as well.
I think there's a woman a couple houses over that does that. Oh, get it? She's fat.
Yep, Bob Cook is definitely back. Robbie, was that bar of expectation higher than normal because of it being a go-home show to Saturday night main event?
Not really. No. I guess, like Bob said, I have to agree with him. You kind of don't, your expectations are, you definitely don't expect.
Right. I'm not there just yet. Oh, I get a little excited to watch the go home shows with the hopes that they'll be better than normal. Most times they're not. But again, this one wasn't that bad. Did it make me excited for Saturday Night Main Event? Though it really didn't. Let's get into it. It's the December 8th episode of Monday Night Raw. We started the show with Surpriser, a promo session. Gunther made his way to the ring, and he vowed to make John Cena submit in his last match against him. I didn't know if they were going to put Gunther over or the traditional retirement match, the guy retiring, they usually lose. But I cannot see Cena tapping out. So in a way, I kind of feel like they're giving away that match that we're going to see John Cena go over. I mean, to start with you, Robbie, do you see the end of John Cena's career in ring, him tapping out?
I don't see him tapping out. I mean, I can see him losing,
right?
But I don't see him tapping out. I don't think, as much hype as they're giving him and everything, and them calling him the GOAT and stuff, I can't see them doing that. But, sometimes whoever's on this creative team sometimes do make you wonder. So, I mean, I guess you can't say no, but I mean, there's that little bit that they may do it just because you wonder who's part of that creative team. You wonder if it's like, are you bringing in, you got a mixture? Do you have mixtures of like, all the old time wrestlers or the guys that were there? And now you're bringing clowns in that run TV shows that have no idea how wrestling goes. So, if you have some of them back there, there's a possibility he may tap out.
Possibly. Bob, the same question. I mean, do you see Cena going out that way? And do you view this as them kind of giving away what's going to happen, which would be Cena actually going over because of this whole tap out business?
I don't know. If I do it the way I would want to do it, and again, I think it really boils down to what John Cena wants to do. If he thinks that Gunther is worth the loss to, maybe it'll elevate him, which I don't think it will. What I think they should do is let John win after having a hell of a match, and everybody breaks kayfabe afterwards. I don't give a shit. Gunther hugs Cena. Everybody comes off in the dressing room. Bad guys, good guys. They hug Cena. They give him a tribute. Goodbye, John. Don't ever come back. Your punch sucks. Whatever people think. That's what I would do. You don't have to lose. It's not going to elevate Gunther to lose to Cena and go out on a happy note. Not that people will. What would be a sad happy? What do they call that? What's the word? I can't even think.
Well,
anyways,
they kind of did that with Ric Flair.
That was awesome too.
Right, it was. Now, it was against Shawn Michaels, so we had two faces at the time. But yeah, I mean, they brought everyone from the dressing room came down, and that was an awesome moment. Now, we aren't completely losing John Cena. I'm not sure if you guys watched his interview on YouTube last night, but he did say that he did sign a 5-year ambassador deal with WWE. He still wants to be part of the family for at least another 5 years. But he did say, and he stressed that his in-ring career is done. He says he feels like that what he can offer isn't what WWE needs. In other words, the product has passed him by as far as his talent goes. Do you agree with that? Do you think that John Cena, absolutely, this is the right time for him to retire because the product has passed him by, Robbie?
Yeah. I mean, his promos, I mean, he still knows how to cut promos. And I mean, I guess he can, he hasn't, his work, like in-ring work is still the same, I mean, he did have that great match with AJ Styles. So they had that. But I mean, And maybe not, I don't know if it's passed him by. I mean, he's basically been the same, same wrestler that he's been throughout his career. And, certain people he works better with.
Right. There's always throughout the years been the chatter that John Cena was selfish. He would never, put anybody over. But in this interview, look, he talked about his matches with Brock Lesnar. One, I think it was in 2013 or 14, where Brock just beat his ass, and that was to build Brock Lesnar as this monster to be able to beat The Undertaker, to beat the Streak. Also, Roman Reigns can be set up to be that guy to beat the Beast, to elevate Roman Reigns. And recently at WrestlePalooza, we've seen a squash match between Brock Lesnar and John Cena. And again, John Cena said he did it this way because it was to rebuild Brock Lesnar as this monster for this next generation, so that you have, people in this next generation that's going to have to overcome Brock Lesnar so they can be the next star. So I think all this chatter of John Cena being selfish and whatnot, I mean, we've seen this tour. He put over a lot of people that we didn't think he would lose to. Do you think that his legacy will be as a man who did what's best for the business? Or do you think his legacy is going to be a man that did what was best for John Cena? Cook, you start.
I think it's going to be a man who did what's best for business all the way around. All those Make-A-Wish things, even though it wasn't done out of selfishness or to elevate his name as a good guy, it did reflect on him that way. And he's just, from what I hear, he's just a good guy. He has some quirky, whatever. When you watch that show that used to be, what was it, Total Bells or something, where he'd make people dress up when he'd eat in his own house, with whether that was real or not, who knows. But he seems, from all accounts, to be a pretty decent guy. And that can be rare in the wrestling business. But I think when it comes to guys that say that he was holding them down or he wouldn't lose or whatever, I think a lot of that's just jealousy. Same thing Hulk Hogan gets from all these guys that were elevated by even being near Hulk Hogan, let alone in a ring with Hulk Hogan, getting payoffs they couldn't have dreamed of. They're working for $50 a night in Memphis for years, and then Hulk takes him to the WWE like Randy Savage, and he becomes a superstar. And they're upset because the Hulk's the bigger star. Maybe didn't want to lose to him, whatever, because it didn't make any sense. But they're just jealous because whatever money Hulk made them, they didn't have anymore, and Hulk still had his, or whatever the situation is. Same thing with Cena.
Right. What about you, Robbie?
Yeah, I agree with Bob. For the most part, I've heard Cena's a pretty good guy. I have met a few people that said they've ran into him in a store or, out somewhere, and he wouldn't take a picture with them. But, one is he's at breakfast, and I get that, you're out. So that's kind of on you for going up while he's out in that store. Kind of like convenience store. That's kind of open game, I think, like I've heard that Hogan was down here at one of the convenience stores in the area.
Yeah, right down the road from where I lived.
Yeah, and they said he was a great guy. He was signing autographs and taking pictures. So in the convenience store, I have to say that's open game. When you're out to eat by yourself with whoever or whatever, no, you got to respect the person for that. That's their time.
Right. I actually even see it a little bit more different than you do, Robbie, because I'm someone that believes that if someone is not on the clock, and I don't care if you're this big recognizable figure or not, when you're not on the clock, they have a right to decide if they want to take pictures or not, or to be left alone. I kind of look at it. That would be like someone coming up to me back in the day that everyone knew me because I was a bartender at Pomper Spots, asking me to, hey, can you grab me something to drink? I'm like, I'm not working. What are you talking about? Right. So I do believe that regardless of someone's popularity and if they're well known or not, that fans should respect that privacy. But again, that's just the way I look at it. I understand your point as well. On the flip side of it, you wouldn't be where you're at if it wasn't for these fans.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Bob.
Well, I always like to bring it up, but Evil Knievel always said when the truckers stop shaking your hand, the girls stop kissing you, and the kids stop asking you for your autograph, you're fucked. So there's going to come a time with these people who don't like to be bothered in public situations where they're going to wonder why they're not. Now, they're not going to realize it now, but down the road when they're nobodies or they're just wandering through an airport and people don't remember them or recognize them, they're going to sit there and go, man, I remember the days when people used to think I was somebody, and now I'm nothing. Appreciate it while you got it. It's not that big a deal. I've seen tons of videos of Hulk Hogan in public situations, and he's nice as crap to people. He'll sit there and take pictures and sign autographs and have conversations with. A lot of people are. I like watching videos of Sylvester Stallone walking out of a restaurants with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold's a dick, but Stallone's nice to the people. It's classic.
And speaking of that, so I have one of my clients. He was a big shot in Washington, but he was in California, and he had dinner with Stallone, and they were leaving the restaurant, and he said that two girls approached him and asked if they could get a picture with him. And it was the old digital cameras, with the film or whatever. And I guess they ran out of film, and they went, would you wait here for a minute so we could go get, film? We'll be right back. And Stallone actually waited for him to come back to take pictures with him. I mean,
oh, wow.
How many people would do that?
And I'm sure there's situations where they're not in a mood for whatever reason. Stallone's looking at his credit card bill and go, hey, I told that bitch to stop spending money. And he's in a bad mood at one time or another. But for the most part, I mean, I would love to be the rich, snobby, egotistical, famous person who treated people like crap. But that's just me.
Yeah. See, I would be a terrible, terrible famous person because I don't like being bothered. I hate small talk. Small talk is probably my worst enemy. I cannot stand small talk. My wife will tell you I will duck away from people if I know someone sees me and they recognize me or something, just so I don't have to have fake small conversations with them.
Oh, I've done that before. You see somebody you used to know, you're like, oh, go left. But if they don't like it, get a job stocking shelves at Walmart. That way, the only time someone's going to bug you is when they want to know where the freaking tampon aisle is or something like that. and then sell that Rolls Royce, get out of that mansion, and just shut the general fuck up.
I'll be honest.
You whining, sniveling pussies.
When I started this podcast, up until recently, I had a pretty bushy beard. Swear to you, my wife can tell you, one reason I grew the beard was because people know who I am just because of working in the bars for so long. And I didn't want to be recognized. I don't like people walking up to me. So it wasn't to hide my beautiful face. It was so people wouldn't recognize me. I can only imagine how much worse it is being that these people are actually famous. I'm just some local Joe Blow that people know, much less being known worldwide. Yeah, I wouldn't deal with it well.
But at the same time, let's face it, none of them are the Beatles and none of them are Elvis. So again, shut up.
Next, we go to one of Bob Cook's favorite guys. He loves hearing on the mic. We go backstage to Paul Heyman, who's meeting with Vision, Brock Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Logan Paul joined them. And he said, look, guys, I have an issue with Rey Mysterio. He pulled Paul Heyman to the side and said, we have to take care of this guy tonight. Paul Heyman handed him brass knuckles. He also told Paul Heyman, look, I know those guys have my back, but I want them to know that I have their back as well. Was this the official joining of the Vision by Logan Paul last night? I mean, we assumed he was a part of it, but was this actual the official I am with the Vision being the whole conversation of we have each other's back type of a deal? Cook?
First, let me go back to that other subject real quick.
Yeah.
Where I'm saying that these people should just be happy with people bugging them and stuff. If I was in the same situation, trust me, I'd hate it too. I'm just being a dick. But I think it was probably the sign that, he's officially. What the last thing Heyman says was, I like that guy.
Right.
I like Logan Paul too. The guy's jacked.
I am a huge
He's in
fan.
shape.
I'm a huge fan.
Robbie
of
Idol.
Paul.
Robbie Idol used to be like that. Then he tore his bicep, didn't get it fixed, ruined the whole look.
Yeah, Robbie, what about you? Are you a fan of Logan Paul? I like this guy. He's someone that originally wasn't part of professional wrestling. He was a YouTuber, so I was very hesitant about him at first, but he proved himself. I mean, this guy takes the business pretty seriously, and I think he's pretty damn good considering he hasn't been in it very long.
Yeah, I like him. I mean, I think he's good. I think out of the two, like him and his brother, I think his brother's probably the bigger dick than what he is, you know. But as far as like taking the business serious and stuff, yeah, I've heard you've heard stuff through social media and stuff. You hope it's true, and as hard as he's worked, and I have seen some stuff with him and seen him saying that this was the hardest thing he's ever done. So he's taking it serious. So yeah, I like him. I mean, I think he's very talented. You know, it's funny, like a lot of people don't like him, but you have to look at like him or not like him, that he's talented, he's athletic, you know, seen him do a few things that you never seen some other people do. Yeah, he's caught on quick, and I think probably there's some jealousy from people that he's caught on so quick, you know.
Right.
He's even got he's got a wrestling ring in his house so he can practice stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to bring it up again. When I really started to respect Logan Paul is when he cut this promo, and it was almost a babyface promo, really, talking about that he became full-time, or he was going to become full-time in professional wrestling for the right reasons, because he loves the sport. It wasn't because of need to be famous or money, because he had all of that. He truly loves professional wrestling, and he wanted to become better at it. And I think that was what really made me respect who he was, that he wasn't just some guy that's, you know, coming in for, you know, 1-2 matches and then just leaving the business type of a thing.
And if you watch his YouTube channel, he just seems like a good guy for the most part. And although I know it's his YouTube channel, so what's shown is what he wants shown, he's always nice to the fans and stuff when he's coming to the arenas, because a lot of behind the scenes stuff with the wrestling. So I like watching his show. Not to mention, is anybody sitting down? Is everybody listening? His wife's hot as hell.
I actually knew a guy who worked out at the same gym he did way back when. And he said Logan Paul is the type of guy that if he seen you working out and you were struggling, or if you're doing something that could possibly hurt yourself, that he was the guy that went and gave advice of, you know, hey, you should do it this way, or do you need me to spot you, type of a thing. And I've also heard other people, I don't know these people, but they've said that Logan Paul is actually what you see on TV, or even, you know, his YouTube crap back when he was over the top. It's not this guy at all. He was, you know, it was all performative in front of the cameras.
Right. I actually like his brother Jake too, because he's a great troll. He loves to troll the fans.
Right.
It's a classic.
Now, here's a question for you both. Robbie, for the right amount of money, would you step in the ring with Logan Paul or his brother Jake for a legit boxing match?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a lot of money. I don't think I could
I-
pass the physical, but yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I would get in that ring, and knowing that I was going to get my ass kicked, as soon as we're supposed to shake gloves, as soon as they hit my gloves, I'd fall down and get counted out right in there. Be done.
I'd have to have at least $150, so I'm not doing it for less.
Let's put it this way. So I guess I'm not the brightest bulb out of the three of us here.
Well, yeah.
I did box a little bit back in the day. I won't say I was good, but I would probably, for the right amount of money, I would have took my shots and seen how I'd have held up against them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've done some amateur fighting way back in the day whenever they would set up a ring in the bars, right? And they would hold these contests, and it was kind of a MMA style stuff. I got in there. It wasn't what it is today. It was basically a bunch of bouncers from the state of Louisiana coming to this one spot to compete, see who was good, right? I was able to hold my own. But I'm 53 years old now. I got a terrible back now. I do not live in a delusional world that I believe that I could get in the ring with Jake Paul, with Logan Paul. Hell, I don't even think I can get in the ring with what was the little fellow that went around? He was Vince McMahon's son. You know, a storyline. He was
Hornswoggle.
So I wouldn't even get in the ring. Hornswoggle wouldn't believe that I could beat his ass. He would kick my ass, but for the right amount of money, I'd take a punch in the face.
I almost was a boxer once, but the Shell station wouldn't sanction it.
I think that was when your first opponent was going to be Robbie Idol, right?
But you know that those tough man contests used to be popular. I had a friend, his name was Rex Hannaford. He wrestled as Rex Kane. He was 6'9". He was trained by the great Malenko at the same time I was, and they had a tough man contest in Sarasota, Florida, I think around 83. And he destroyed everybody, you know, won the whole thing. Every fight was like less than a minute. Boom, and just knocked him out. He's dead now, but it's a great memory.
Yeah. How far would you be willing to go, Robbie, against a Logan Paul or his brother?
What do you mean?
All the way, baby.
In a legit match, boxing match, MMA style.
Oh,
MMA style or boxing? That's different.
I think, boxing. They're both boxers.
I don't think it'd go past three rounds.
I thought you meant 3 seconds.
Well, maybe 3 seconds too. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of Malenko, a reminder, not just to you, but to the fans out there, the great Joe Malenko will be on the podcast. I'll be interviewing him Monday, December 15th, and Bob Cook will be joining us for that. Bob was trained by the great Malenko. He's very close to the Malenko family. I would dare to say that he considers them family, and they consider him as family as well. So that's going to be an awesome interview.
I do consider Joe one of my dearest friends. I really do. I love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. A little story about Joe. I met him in Vegas this past August at the CAC reunion, and I've never talked to the guy. The guy doesn't know my face. My podcast isn't big enough that, oh yeah, you're the guy, the great podcast, right? But he happily did an interview with me and joked around with me, made me feel like we've been friends for years. I mean, he's truly a really, really good guy. He really is. I'm looking forward to that. Next, we go to a match that, again, this is one of the matches that, good match. I'm just not invested into any of these characters. Io Sky against Kairi Sane. Rhea Ripley was by Io Sky's side, as well as Osaka being by Kairi Sane's side. Ultimately, after some fuckery outside of the ring, Io Sky defeated Kairi Sane. Start with you, Robbie. What did you think about this match, man?
I liked it. I thought it was a good match. How can you not like Io?
Just something about her. I don't know. Again, she's a great performer. She really is. That's why I said it's not that I didn't enjoy the match. Right, I wasn't into it. Invested. Something about both Kairi Sane and Io Sky.
Well, you had to figure it'd be a good match because
right.
Have been together before in the past, like from Japan and everything. So they probably worked against each other.
Right.
But you knew it was going to be a good match. I mean, we can always do without what you called the fuckery. But it seems like
right.
When people are outside, we always have to have something.
Right.
At least they kept it to a minimum, I guess, which wasn't bad. So, but I was looking forward to the match. I thought it'd be a good match between them. I'm a big fan of Io.
Yeah,
who's this talking down here?
That is Mr. Michael McGurty. He says, the Grizzle Vet. Good to see you, Bob. Glad to have you back.
How much did you pay him for that, Bob?
Let's keep that to ourselves.
Now, Bob, the big question was, were you able to maintain yourself and keep yourself calm when you've seen Io Sky and Kairi Sane, being that you are also the superficial one, Bob?
That's
Cook?
true. And I'm on some meds, lots of meds.
And he's a big Oscar
But they're good
fan.
meds. They're nice meds. They're fun.
He's a big Oscar fan.
I didn't think the match was bad at all. It was a good match.
Right. No, and I agree. Like, that's why I said, it was a really good match. I just wasn't invested in the match. But it was definitely a good match. Eos guy is very talented. Kerry Zane, I remember when she was in the Mae Young, I think it was her, the Mae Young Classic. Don't remember who she was facing, but she got on the top rope and went to deliver that elbow onto her opponent outside. And her opponent was actually laying on grates. Her opponent rode out the way. Kerry Zane hit those grates, man. She's tiny. And I'm like, we just witnessed someone die. She hit those grates so hard, no joke, that when she got up, she literally had the imprints of the grates on her. So as small as she is, she's definitely tough. She's good as well. But again, I don't know what's that disconnect with me between them. It's not the language barrier. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is, but they are very, very talented in the ring. I won't.
Well, that's one of those things you just never know why someone connects. You could there's some of the biggest stars in the business where I thought, why? Like Eddie Kingston. I don't understand why people like the guy. He's probably a nice guy, but
I think the thing with Eddie Kingston, and I know this was the case for myself, I've kind of lost interest in him. I'm not as big of a fan as I used to be, but for me, he kind of represented that the next door kind of a guy, that regular old Joe that that showed that even regular people can obtain their dreams as well. But for myself, that only carried him so far with me. It's got to the point now that I won't talk shit about the guy because, he, even Eddie Kingston, does much better than I could ever do in the ring. But I'm just not invested in him as well. Robbie, I mean, do you have one of those talents that, they're good in the ring, you wouldn't shit on them, but there's just, something about them that you're just not invested in for some reason?
Yeah, I mean, there's, probably quite a few.
The majority.
And maybe somebody's saying, well, you were nothing more than a jobber. No, it's not jealousy or anything like that.
Right.
It just, you wonder, okay, well, and I'll give you a prime example. And everybody, loves him to death. CM Punk, not invested in Punk. I don't understand how he's over. That's just my opinion. From day one, I never saw the early stuff from CM Punk, like way back when or whatever.
He wrestled Terry Funk in TNA,
I think I've seen some stuff that he's worked Terry or whatever, but just, when he came into WWE, everybody loved him. And I didn't see the attraction.
Yeah. To your point, all these years that he was gone, and you constantly heard fans continuously chant over 10 years CM Punk, especially if they were in Chicago, right? I was kind of there. Didn't understand why. I wasn't a big CM Punk fan before he left the business. I became somewhat of a CM Punk fan, believe it or not, when he was in AEW. To me, the best promo that he has cut and the best interaction since he's been back was CM Punk going in a word battle, basically a promo battle against MJF. That was an amazing moment, in my opinion. And that's when I kind of became a CM Punk fan, even a little bit more than I guess what I was, than what I was, because he is good on the mic when he wants to be. Unfortunately, he's not had that moment, in my opinion, since he's been back with WWE. He's not had that, holy shit, what a moment, since he's been back. Bob, do you agree with that? Or is there a particular promo that he has cut since he's been back with WWE that you think that, that was classic CM Punk, great promo guy?
I can't remember too many of the promos, but I was never a big fan of CM Punk either. I met him a couple years ago at the Cali for Alley Club, and he was a really nice guy, and he even knew who I was. And that doesn't necessarily mean why I like him now. I like him now because he's come back and he's added something to the company positively. You don't hear him bitching and moaning behind the scenes anymore. He's helping the younger talent, from what I've heard. And I like that. And he's also very funny in the TV show Heels. If you ever watch that, it's also on Netflix. It's a great show. Only went 2 seasons, unfortunately. But CM Punk has a role in there, as does AJ once in a while.
Right.
And I don't mean Styles. And he's hilarious in the role.
Right. Yep. I agree. Next, we see Rey Mysterio coming down to the ring. Now, I don't want to talk about this, but I guess I should mention that early in the night, they did their whole showing people arriving to the building. We seen Rey Mysterio walking through the hallway. But he was scheduled to go against Finn Balor. As Rey was going to the ring, he was attacked by Logan Paul, and Logan Paul basically kicked his ass. He used the brass knucks on him. Then Ellie, what was funny about this though was, now we've seen the Masked Man make his first appearance on Raw, and then once Rey Mysterio was basically laid out, then LA Knight came for the save. Good save by Michael Cole, who said there's no telling what they're about to do to Rey Mysterio next if it wasn't for LA Knight. What did you guys think about this? I personally, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was one of those things that if they wouldn't have did it, I wouldn't have missed it. But since they did do it, I was fine too. Bob, start with you, man.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. It was okay, but if it didn't happen, I'd be okay with that too.
Right. What about you, Robbie?
Same thing. I mean, if you're gonna send LA Knight out, why send him after he's laid out?
Right.
So I mean, could have done without it.
Yeah, I agree. Next, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Against the War Raiders. Now, this is what's crazy about the War Raiders for myself. They did a vignette earlier the night, right before this, right? I love the War Raiders vignettes. They remind me kind of a biker gang, even though it's only 2 people. I think that they come across as being these badasses you don't want to mess with. But then you see them in the ring and in their gear, and it just takes everything out of me. I lose out interest in these guys. Again, they're talented. I just can't connect with them. The match for myself wasn't even that great. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee retained the world title. After the match, though, we've seen Judgment Day come in. The big takeaway was the Usos. Now, I got to tell you, my favorite moment of the night last night, believe it or not, was when Jey Uso picked up that little baby, maybe 1 or 2 years old, and you seen that little kid doing the yeet thing, right? I thought that was cool. I thought that was cute. Usos are back together, though. Jimmy made it a point to bring out that, there's been loss after loss, but now they're getting back to where they're at, where they should have always been, which is the greatest tag team in the world. They're going after those titles. We see fisticuffs happen between the New Day and the Usos. We're left with the Usos staring face to face in each other's faces, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Robbie, your thoughts on all of this, man? First off, what are your thoughts on the War Raiders, right? I mean, do you understand what I'm talking about with their vignettes?
Yes.
Versus
and we talked about it on another podcast. I liked them in Ring of Honor. Like you said, I think they've been WWE-ized. Last night they looked sloppy. I hate to say that, but there were parts of that match that they just looked like they didn't belong in that match with Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. They just kind of looked a little lost, a little sloppy. It just looked like they couldn't hang with them for some odd reason. Maybe off night, we all have them, so an off night. This was the one I wanted to talk about. I want to know whoever in the hell in the back thinks it's a great idea that the Usos are coming down for 20 minutes, hanging out in the audience. Whoever said that's a good idea should be punched in the head as many times as they could get punched.
Wait, Bobby, right? That'd be an instruction. Come on, man. When Uso picked up that little baby, the little 1-2-year-old, wasn't that heartwarming? Come on.
No, because what else? If you looked really hard next to him, you saw some 40-year-old dork that lived in his mom and dad's basement at 40 years old, having his moment in the sun, getting the yeet there. So you're like, really?
What made me laugh about that was when Jay gave the kid back to the mom tried to hug Jay, and Jay was basically like, whatever, don't fucking touch me. And he just walked right down there. I laughed at that.
That whole, how long it took. I mean,
right.
You wasted, that whole segment felt like forever. I'm sorry. It just felt like forever. And then they got in the ring and they did the rewind thing. I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me here. Really? We talked about that before. It took you 20 minutes, if not longer, to do 2 minutes of what you could have done. The other thing that I kind of crack up about, and I thought what you were going to say that you got a kick out of, was when Grayson Waller did the rewind thing and walked out. He's just like a waste. I mean, he's got to be happy because he's getting paid for doing nothing. So he's happy, but you're kind of wasting him. Overall, I could have done without this. The whole segment, I could have done without.
Now, Bob.
Yeah.
Robbie said that he thought the War Raiders just looked sloppy. Could that have been because they haven't been used very much? And I'll be honest with you, until last week, I thought maybe that they were let go from WWE, even though we haven't heard any. Usually there's that they make the announcement on some news, wrestling news, but we haven't seen them for so long. Could that be why they were sloppy? And as well, do you agree with Robbie is talking about with Usos coming down? It took too long, or is Robbie just being a Grinch?
Well, as far as the War Raiders, I think they're always sloppy, but you got it. But that moonsault, but the big guy is amazing. Could you imagine the guy laying there? It reminds me when I was wrestling Bam Bam Bigelow and he's doing the headbutt off the top rope and you're laying there, this 350-pound guy's coming down on you. You can imagine what that guy in the ground was thinking. He better hit it. He better. I don't know. I didn't think much of it. I don't like the War Raiders because I hate clown characters.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think
it makes a mockery of the business to some degree. And I know they've always been around, but although Doink the Clown, I love Doink the Clown. I'm just kidding. I hated that character. Actually, Matt Bourne, real asshole.
Next, the Women's World Champion Stephanie Vicaire addressed the crowd until Nikki Bella interrupted, demanding a rematch. Then Raquel Rodriguez attacked Nikki and declared she wanted the next shot. Now, look, this is what bothered me about this. As a guy that lost traditional professional wrestling, your baby face and your heel, it seems like WWE has been kind of not really caring about the traditional baby versus heel roles, because they do this a lot now. Rodriguez is clearly a baby face. I mean, a heel. So is Nikki Bella. And we seen them, Raquel took Nikki out. That's just not something you normally don't see that. Normally the heels, even if they're not together, well, for that moment, team up to beat the shit out of the champion. Bob, what's going on with this, man? I mean, have we gotten to the point in professional wrestling that baby face versus baby face, heel versus heel, this shit just doesn't matter anymore?
Not really. I mean, it matters, but sometimes you just change things up. I know I personally would rather see Nikki against Stephanie again as opposed to Raquel at any point, but that's just me.
Right. Robbie.
Well, I mean, I know they straightened it out later in the show, but if I had to see, which made no sense when you looked the way it looked like Rodriguez and Roxanne were going after the tag team, and Liv had said, "I'm going after the championship," and confronted Stephanie. And now you got Raquel out there. You know, I don't know. They just seem to change week to week.
Yeah. Backstage was the judge. We went backstage with the Judgment Day. Tensions rose as Liv Morgan pushed her leadership, and Raquel openly challenged it. Guys, again, what's happening here? Are we seeing Raquel maybe going to go back to being a baby face? Which in my opinion, that'd be a mistake, because unless my memory is wrong, I don't think she was getting over very well as a baby face. She definitely gets over better as a heel. Start with you, Robbie.
I think she's kind of losing her appeal all the way around. So, I mean, it doesn't matter, baby, heel, whatever. I just kind of think she's losing her appeal. I don't think the fans care either way. They just, unfortunately, for whatever, like you say, now I think they're losing their investment,
Right. Yeah, I mean, and the only reason why I kind of think it that way is because Liv Morgan is so hot as a heel that, yeah, she would be. I think that as a baby face, she would get massive pops. People would invest into it. But I think she plays a better heel right now. She serves that purpose more. So if they are going in that direction of somebody is going to turn on someone, I just assume it's going to be Liv turning on Rodriguez. Bob, what are your thoughts with this, man?
Probably. I think Rodriguez is kind of like this era's Tima. Was that her name? Tima? Snuka's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible.
Right.
Snuka was phenomenal and his daughter wasn't. No offense, but it's true. Brother.
Next is a vignette that I love because I love what they're doing. We're talking about Maxine Dupree. She's tapping everybody out during this training, and then she says she wants more. Natalia says, now you have to beat me. And we see Maxine Dupree tapping out Natalia. I love this. I love that they're repackaging Maxine, because the thought for myself was always, how long she's going to have this title? Is she going to be basically one or two defense, title holder and then drops the title, or is she going to actually hold on and actually matter? And it looks like that she's going to actually matter. Robbie, your thoughts on the vignettes and what they're doing with Maxine Dupree?
I like the vignette, but this is what you got to hope is, so they kind of making her look like the badass in there. You kind of hope they start to bring that character into play and get her away from the goofy shit that she did with Otis and stuff like that, and kind of get her away from that. Mm-hmm. I'd rather see her, at least, have that more like of a mean streak or more of a badass than the goofy shit that they had her doing in the beginning, like the stupid worm or whatever. Right. I'd rather see her more of a badass. I mean, I would definitely like that character a lot more. So hopefully what they're doing here, they're going to do that.
Right. Terry Zellerman, another WWE guy, and when he was in professional wrestling. Thank you for joining us, Terry. Yep.
What was his name?
Terry Zeller. Terry, what was your name? I think you went by Terry Zeller, didn't you? Respond back to the message. But he says he thinks they will all turn on Liv. Maybe.
Let's hope not. I'd rather see Liv versus Stephanie more so than Raquel versus Stephanie.
Right. I agree with that. Bob,
I think it'd be a bigger draw.
Yeah. What do you think about this whole vignette packages that they're doing with Maxine Dupree? Do you think that they're going to get her away from all of the comedy shit and make her this legit badass that is feared in the women's division? Or are they going to shit all over it and do what WWE do at times.
You know, it would make absolutely no sense to present her in a different way like they are now and present her as this person who just finally said, the hell with this. I'm taking this serious. I'm not going to be part of the clown and pony show with Otis and them. And I'm going to take my career serious. I'm going to take it to the next level. We're going to go through all these things to build her up as something more just to bring her back and be what she was. That would make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So probably won't happen, right?
Yeah, Terry was, Terry Zeller. I think he had a small little part with Lex Luger where
Lex Luger
was looking in the mirror and Terry said something and
I wrestled Lex Luger.
So Terry's good shit.
I punched Lex Luger in the face. I worked out with Lex Luger in the gym before. What do you think of that? I know, who cares?
No, actually, you know what? Talk to me about that a little bit because I hear so many people and they're kind of split on what they say about Lex. I have some that say that Lex was a great guy. Others say that he was just a narcissistic asshole. What was your take on him?
When I first met him was in the championship wrestling from Florida back in '86. And I wouldn't say he was a stuck-up asshole. He was just to himself. He'd walk around maybe with his nose in the air or something. But I'm not one of those guys that goes around and just talks to people I don't know. So you can read people differently, right? I'm not the most outgoing person when it comes to strangers. I don't just walk up to people and go, hey, how you doing? My name's blah, blah. But later on, Lex was always cool to me.
Yeah. No, actually, Robbie, if I remember correctly, in your book and during the interview, you interacted with Lex. You never faced him in a ring, I don't think, but you did have the opportunity to meet him and interact with him. And you liked him, right?
Yes. I mean, I got along with him. I mean, he was always decent to me. So I never had any issues with him or anything.
A lot of people do, though. They see someone like Lex, who's a good-looking guy, he's in great shape. Automatically, they see him as arrogant, especially if they take what he has on TV to heart and think he's that way in real life. And again, everybody has different experiences with people. I mean, some people probably think Robbie Idol's a nice guy, but I've never seen it.
Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm very hesitant when someone is nice to me for no reason and wants to be me. I am. I have trust issues.
Well, fuck you then.
Well, I mean, my first thought is what does this person want from me? Now, that's because I'm a nobody. I can only imagine whenever you reach that pinnacle that Lex met, that question has to go through your head. Who is this person and what does this person want from me? That has to be there. You have to be careful and guard it, in my opinion. And I think a lot of times that may get misconstrued to him being this dick or asshole.
I mean, when you're successful and you have wealth or you're perceived to have wealth, there's going to be leeches around you trying to get a piece of something.
Right.
So you got to be leery. You got to be cautious.
Yeah, absolutely. And
everybody takes it differently on how they're treated or reacted to. So,
yeah. And, Terry said that he was great to him as well. Terry also said that he would hope they would make Maxine into a new version of Rousey.
Yes, ooh. I was thinking the same thing because I was thinking when we're talking about what they're doing, we bring back Rhonda.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
It would be.
She's in great shape again too.
Rhonda just doesn't sound like she doesn't ever want to come back to WWE.
No,
right? You can never say it possible because how many times we've heard this over the years? So many people have said this. And the majority of them has come back.
A lot of that stuff from people that you would consider outsiders, someone like Rhonda who got into business late, even if she loved it as a fan, she got in it and she was treated like gold, and rightfully so because she's a legend in the MMA. Without Rhonda, there wouldn't be women fighting in the MMA. Dana White said that himself. So people can shit on her all they want. She's a freaking legend. She's a Hall of Famer in that business. And she came into wrestling. In my opinion, she did fantastic. She had one of the greatest debuts in the history of wrestling when she teamed up with Kurt Angle and Stephanie and Triple H at that WrestleMania.
Right.
Because Rhonda wasn't your cookie cutter wrestler. She didn't go out there and do the same thing that the other girls did. And in her very first match, she did things that people in the business never did. Little things like Jerry Lawler, who could control a crowd with a simple tilt of his head or the way he looked at the crowd. She was doing that in her very first match. Very few people do that. So she was better than people think. But then when she didn't get her way, like she thought she should, that's when her attitude changed. And that's what will happen to Logan Paul too, because he's being pushed in a certain way right now. But if he doesn't, if they start swerving him, making him lose more, he'll probably be the same way because he didn't grow up wanting to be a wrestler.
Right.
That's the difference in a lot of it.
True. Yeah. Terry says everybody has a price. All right, Ted DiBiase. And speaking of, last night I actually checked out what is it called? America Freestyle. The new the wrestling that what's his name from WCW, Robbie?
Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, the project that Eric and Hulk Hogan started. And I have to be honest with you, I'm not someone that's ever like just sitting down and watching amateur, wrestling.
No,
but I tell you, this was a little entertaining. It really was. And it sounds like they're doing pretty damn good.
They have women too, right?
Yeah. The match I watched, I can't remember who was in it. It was Holly.
Holly
man,
Holmes.
Holly
Holmes. Right. Yeah, I didn't
Yep.
see it, but I saw her come out.
Yeah, it was actually a really good match. It really was. Robbie, is that something that you could ever see yourself sitting down and watching?
I may check it out just to see what it's about.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. I'm not paying whatever Fox channel you have to pay for, but you can
And
find
what's
it on
the name?
YouTube.
What's the name of it?
It is freestyle or American freestyle
It's
wrestling.
Real American.
Real American.
Real American.
Yeah, that's it. Real American.
But you know what?
Freestyle's
One
in there.
cool thing that doesn't necessarily have to do with that, but it does. Nick Hogan recently bought Hulk's Viper back from wherever they sold it at auction years ago. That Hulkster Viper that he got in WCW in '94 when he first came in. Remember that? It was really cool. Yep. Well, Nick Hogan got it back, and I think that's awesome. And Hulk originally put it up for auction to raise money for that charity to help people who don't have who need new limbs, whatever. I can't think what the name of the charity is offhand, but it's cool that his son got the Viper back because that was a badass car. It used to be in the Hulk Hogan's beat shop in Orlando, but it obviously wasn't once they auctioned it off.
There's been rumors, floating around about Nick possibly getting into professional wrestling. I don't think that it's true because he's never showed interest in it.
He's 35 years old too.
Right. Yep.
But then again, DDP. Guy's a freaking legend. He started about the same time.
Yeah. Yep. Next, Roxanne Perez against Lyra Valkyria. Roxanne Perez won after Liv Morgan distracted the referee, giving Roxanne the chance to land pop rocks. Bailey, who accompanied Lyra, was caught in the chaos as well at ringside. It was a decent match. I personally love Roxanne Perez's finisher pop rocks. I think it looks really, really cool. Cooker, start with you. Your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was good. That's about all. I thought it was good.
What are you, Robbie?
I liked it. I gotta say, I knew she was a good worker. But she's kind of growing on me a little bit more is Roxanne Perez. Mm. So, and you knew both of them could work. So, yeah, it was a good match. One of the better ones on the night. Right.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
What was the name of Roxanne against who?
Lyra.
That's it. Okay, yeah. I remember the moment in the match where Lyra did the crossbody off the top rope. First thing I thought was, damn, she's getting some definition in her abs.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the match was fine. It's back to one of those things for myself that with Roxanne and with Lyra, and even Bailey for that moment. I'm just not a fan of theirs. There's a disconnect, as far as them being in the ring and drumming in their storyline.
Right. Well, I do have to say this since they've kind of taken the happy Bailey away, like when she came from NXT. I'm like
the hugger.
Yeah, the hugger, like Bob Cook, the hugger. You got to watch out if you ever meet him, KG, because he is a hugger.
No, Bob Evans. Bob Evans is a hugger. I like Bob Evans.
But I am looking forward to her against Sol Ruka on Saturday.
Right. Do you guys think that they changed Bailey's character too soon? As far as, when she was the hugger, because she was over big time. The kids loved her.
One of those kids went on to be a wrestler, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think her name was Izzy or something. She was always a little kid. She cried at the NXT shows, and she's in a business herself now, which is cool to see.
Right. Right. What about you, Robbie? Do you think that they should have let this go longer?
No, I mean, because it was. I mean, it was over. I mean, they did what they were trying to accomplish. I mean,
right.
Either the fans disliked her, or you thought it was, you liked that character. I mean, it might have been split, but it was probably time to do it.
She even had an action figure with that blow up thing.
Yep. But that was my next question was,
Robbie used to sleep with it at night by his pillow.
Was that your security blanket there, Robbie?
Yes.
No, that was rather than sucking his thumb.
So it was on one side of the bed, my 110-pound Roddy in the middle, and my wife on the other. So I had 3 security blankets.
Yeah, my question was, and the reason why I was asking if they took this way too soon was, is there a possibility if they were to let this go even longer, you'd have more people invest into it, it would have been more popular, and then that heel turn would have been bigger than it actually was? Because I remember when she turned heel, it was supposed to be huge and the shocking moment, and just it kind of fell flat to a degree. Robbie?
I mean, I don't remember it falling flat.
People didn't really care.
I guess I missed that moment.
I mean, Bob, do you remember when she turned? And I think that's when the whatever her faction's name, I can't remember it. She kind of formed that group. They didn't get as much heat as I think they thought they would.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those factions. Was like she had green hair or something, and
something.
You can't get over like that. I don't know. I've never been a huge Bailey fan.
The time that she came out with from like one of the big pay-per-views, and she had Dakota Kai and Asuka.
Yep.
I can't remember what they were called.
God, what the heck was the name of it?
Something, yada yada yada, blah blah blah.
It wasn't Asuka, was it? It was Dakota Kai and who was it?
Dakota.
That Fry girl? No, that's Fry. No.
Io Sky, Dakota,
and Asuka, wasn't it, or no?
Asuka eventually joined. Yes.
Okay, so there was another girl though. What the heck was the name of that? I actually I liked it because I liked Io, I liked Dakota Kai. That made me like Bailey even more.
Right.
So I wasn't like a big Bailey fan, but when they came out like that, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never been a Bailey fan. I didn't like the faction.
I can't think of what the heck was the name of that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I guess I should look it up real
Tell
quick.
that Terry guy to chime in. He must know. Tell that Michael guy to chime in. He must know. He does a radio show, for God's sake. It's supposed to be
when you say it, then we'll all remember it.
He should be a historian.
What the hell is it?
It was.
Oh, he's cheating. He's Googling it.
Well, yeah.
Hurt Syndicate.
Damage Control. Damage Control. See,
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to make you guys look stupid.
Next is the main event.
No, I'll tell you the reason why we couldn't remember it, because we're all getting old. So
that's one of us almost died last week, so yeah, it's true.
Look.
Oh man. Next is the main event. Logan Paul gets LA Knight. The match was good. Did of course we seen the mask. Assailant came back, who dropped Knight with a blackout onto the announcer's table. After the match, Brian Breaker hit the ring with a vision with Bronson Reed, and they just basically destroyed LA Knight. But before they attempted to kill him, LA was actually helped to the back. Paul Heyman, he cut a promo talking about January 5th, the year anniversary since WWE has been with Netflix, and how Brian Breaker is going to be going after the title against CM Punk. Breaker took the mic and said he doesn't want this basically goody two-shoe CM Punk. He wants old school CM Punk. The Raw ended with Bronson Reed and Logan Paul basically trying to kill LA Knight. Did the big splash onto LA Knight on top of a vehicle. Guys, what did you think about this?
Didn't they do that to Braun Strowman a few months ago or last year or whatever?
Yeah, it was similar. Yep.
Well, what I thought was Braun Breaker saying that CM Punk claims he doesn't do drugs, but he looks like the biggest crackhead. I thought that was something that Scott Steiner would do. It was just like an off the page, something you wouldn't think someone would. Even Paul Heyman went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I thought that was awesome, and I thought him saying maybe I'll take your wife too.
Yeah. That's probably
cool.
from Rocky 3, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I used to say that too about CM Punk. I always say he claims he's not on drugs, but I didn't say crack. I always say looks like the biggest heroin addict on earth. But I was just kidding. Sorry, Phil.
The thing for me though is, I'll be honest with you. Besides him not getting into trouble backstage, and his promos not being as intense, as far as his ring work, is there any difference from today's CM Punk to the CM Punk of yesteryears? With the exception of he gets a little tired faster now because he's
probably slowed down a bit if you went back. Man, he had some great matches back in the day. One of the best matches on Raw. I actually bought it on Amazon Prime. That episode, not Amazon Prime, Voodoo, it was called Voodoo. I think it's called Fandango now, but that episode of Raw was John Cena against CM Punk. A phenomenal match.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing that I did not know that Brian Breaker said, or that I didn't remember, was the fact that he held the title for over 400 days. I completely forgot about that.
That was a great promo by Braun, though.
No, it was. 2 weeks in a row, Brian Breaker is giving great promos. He's really getting
He almost
better.
Seems, what the hell? I can't think of these words tonight. What's going on? It's like the blood's not flowing through my heart. What the hell? Like Brian Pillman, where he was kind of unhinged or whatever. Unhinged.
Yeah. Robbie, what'd you think about this whole segment?
The match was good. The it was good. His promos are good. I think he's kind of either his uncle has worked with him, because it seems like he has kind of stole, a few kind of lines out of there. This, like what Scott would do from back in the, from previous past years or whatever. But like you're talking about CM Punk, the old CM Punk, like I've seen clips of from the early days, before, WWF and all that stuff. And I will say that CM Punk, I had never seen some of that stuff. I was impressed with that. So that, he was totally different worker than what he is today. Maybe because he was younger.
Right.
So I don't know if that's when he's talking about, those early days.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Braun, the promos are good. It just kind of reminds you of Scott, from back in the day.
One thing that made me laugh that he did last night, I'm talking about Brian Breaker, was when he started saying spear and 1, 2, 3. When I think it was in the first or second time that he was doing 1, 2, 3 in his fingers, He did 1, 2, 3, except he put up 4 fingers.
But
And I laughed my ass off. Well, yeah, he's definitely a fucking Steiner, that's for sure.
Steiner math, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the promo that he did? He recited the whole Steiner math promo at one of the pre-shows not years ago. But I don't know if it was before. It was before a big pay-per-view, and they were doing like their pre-show, and he did the Steiner math promo.
Yeah, look, I honestly believe that Braun Breaker 3, 4, 5 years from now will be that guy, that good in the ring and that good cutting promos. I honestly think that he has the potential to be their next massive star. I'm talking about in the John Cena realm or the Rock realm even. I think he has that potential. Do you disagree, Bob?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know about the Rock realm. That's pretty lofty realm.
It is, but I think that he has the potential to be just that damn good. Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. If you look at all the guys they got roster wise, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, from NXT, you don't see anybody that, as far as promo wise and stuff, there's workers that are really good, but promo wise down there, that anybody cutting a great promo in NXT that makes you go, wow,
Right.
You have some of your guys, Raw and SmackDown that are good, but he's kind of like these last 2 weeks, he's elevated himself. So yeah, you give him, I think, because obviously, you have to say Scott's got to be in his ear, probably talks to him, who knows, once a week,
Right.
maybe, once a month, whatever. But so Scott's giving him advice, stuff like that. I could see it, that's, the star potential, because you think about it, Scott was in that realm. So he's got it in the genes.
Yeah, I think that I think it was because Alco, Rick, right?
No,
Rick
Scott.
Steiner? No,
Rick's his dad.
Alco? Rick's his dad. Okay, Scott. Yeah, you're right. Scott was definitely the better of the two when it came to cutting promos, in my opinion. Now, there's a lot of chatter going on right now that LA Knight's getting shit on. LA Knight will never get the push that LA Knight should leave in WWE. I think LA Knight's doing just fine. He was one of the 2 men that was reached the point of having the final match to see who was John Cena's final opponent. LA Knight is on TV damn near every week. I think that I have a feeling it'll be a few weeks before we see LA Knight come back to sell this devastation that was done to him. Do you guys think that LA Knight should be getting more of a push than he's getting? Do you think that they should put the world title on him? Bob?
No. I think he's just fine where he is, and whether if he's happy or not, that's up to him. But hell, he's probably going to get married or something. That's probably why they did that last night, going on a honeymoon or something like that. I saw someone say, "Well, it's the final nail in his coffin." I'm like, "What are you idiots?" He's going to come back and he'll get revenge. He'll have another match with Logan. He'll have a match with Reed. Who cares? Stop taking it so seriously, you idiots.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't need titles, number one, and number two, he is on TV.
Right.
Every Monday. He gets more airtime than most people who have the damn title. To be honest with you.
Even Robbie. Cody wasn't on last night, was he?
No, he wasn't. We could talk about
CM Punk wasn't there.
No, we'll talk about Cody in a second.
Rest in peace, Larry.
Yes, we lost Larry, the dog.
No, I mean, we've talked about it on other shows. I mean, he's on every week. He might have a minor injury and just needs some time off,
Right.
There's something that nobody knows, that saying that but he's on TV he's used a lot. So he's one of their top guys. It isn't like he's not being used.
Right.
I mean, nobody's going to forget about him.
Right. Yeah, 100%. You mentioned Cody Rhodes. On Saturday night's main event, Cody is facing Obafemi. Could this be the match that unexpectedly steals the show?
No.
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 Really? Because
I like Cody, but I don't really know much about the other guy because I don't watch NXT. He's a champion of some kind, so he must be good. I don't know.
Yeah, real quick, Terry says he read that he was getting a push next year and going after the vision, talking about, of course, LA Knight. Look,
where do you read that? The internet?
As far as the match between Cena and Gunther, as much as that is the match everyone is waiting to see because it's John Cena's last match, I don't think that's going to be the best match of the night. And Obafemi, he's pretty damn good. Robbie, do you agree with Bob that probably won't be the best match of the night, or do you think has the potential?
It'll probably be a good match. I don't think it'll be the best match. Here's my opinion, my take on it. What I think is going to be the best match. I think it's going to be the tag match.
That's what I was going to.
AJ and Dragon Lee against Javon Evans and the other kid. Yep. I honestly think that's going to be the match of the night. I just think you're going to see all four of them do stuff that you go, wow. You're not going to have one oh shit moment. You're going to have like a bunch of oh shit moments that just the stuff they do.
Yeah, I agree.
That'll be the one that steals the show.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was my thoughts. Joseph D. Hughes says absolutely LA Knight should get a bigger push.
He's getting a big push.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He is on TV every damn Monday.
He was part of the biggest angle of the show last night and the last part of the show.
Right. Push. I mean, he's getting a push,
drives me nuts.
Pushing money into his bank account every week.
Right.
He even agrees with his tag match. Your buddy
Zeller, my buddy Zeller said, Terry, tag match. Yeah, absolutely.
And here, if I had to peg them, I'd say the tag match will be the best match. I honestly think probably best match will be Sol Ruka and Bailey.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. That's the match of the night.
I think that'll be the second one. I think it's going to surprise you.
Sol Ruka's going to win. That finishing move of Sol Ruka's is amazing.
And then I think the other between Gunther and Cena and Cody and Obafemi, there'll be a toss up between where they'll get placed or whatever. That's my take on it.
Yep, I think Saturday. Now. I'm curious to see how much time they're going to give Cena after the match. And if they do give Cena a lot of time, I'm expecting to hear Goldberg cry about it 100%.
Well, I think what they're going to do is they'll give Cena a lot of time, but a lot of it will end up being on their YouTube channel as an exclusive, just like the Goldberg stuff.
Right.
Hell, it got more views on YouTube than it would have on the Saturday night's main event anyway. So shut up, Goldberg. Quit whining.
Yeah, I think
Bret Hart and Goldberg.
I do believe that
they're like Abbott and Costello, Martin and Lewis. They're just not as funny. They're pathetic.
I think that this Saturday night's main event, it's going to be the most viewed Saturday night main event in the history of the company.
Probably.
Yep.
I know they got like 15,000 plus tickets sold. And I heard the prices were outrageous. Shocking.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of, so let me pull this up. I wrote it, so I should have it memorized, but of course I don't. Of course, I am talking about Full Gear. It was noted that Full Gear 2025 delivered in every way imaginable. Just an early estimate puts the show at roughly 140,000 pay-per-view buys That number beats eternal projections and is already being talked about as AEW's strongest pay-per-view since out in Texas of 2025. And they set a new record on HBO Max, becoming AEW's top performing events ever on the platform, and more than 10,000 fans packed the building. And I thought I read somewhere that it is one of Max's biggest live events that they've done. So,
good.
AEW Full Gear 2025. And, as I said on this article that I wrote, that, that's not just good for AEW. It's good for professional wrestling as a whole, because it shows that fans are out there and they are really invested in professional wrestling, and that professional wrestling is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, what happens with AEW with this new buyout remains to be seen. Tony Khan did say that they're going to be on HBO Max for some years to go because of their contract, which was confusing for me because I thought they only had one more year left of the contract for HBO Max. So I don't know. It's still up in the air. What's going to happen with all of that? Robbie, does that surprise you at all? The numbers for that AEW did?
A little bit, but it's good to see because you want competition,
right?
You want like the Ring of Honors, the TNAs, and AEW. You want all of them to succeed for people that are up and coming wrestlers. The wrestlers now, you get fired from one company. Hey, this company likes you, so now they may take you because they see you've been fired or let go or whatever. So you want to see it for people that have, you want the competition. You want, if you're not happy with this organization, you can watch something else. At least out of all the organizations that are on TV nowadays, you got to be able to find something that you like, and it just gives people places to go, more job opportunities for the behind the scenes.
Right.
So you want all of that.
Yeah. Now I may have missed it, but I haven't heard of Collision being moved to another night. I really hope Tony Khan does not do Collision on Saturday night, because I think that'd be the lowest Collision that they've ever done with Saturday Night Main Event. Did you guys hear of Collision being moved this week?
I didn't. I haven't heard.
I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't either. That wraps up this edition of our Raw recap, guys. Tomorrow I have an interview with my buddy Joe Helms, and then Saturday I actually am doing a special Saturday interview with Arcangela Orsini. She is the owner of Veterans Pro Wrestling. And then, like I said, on the 15th, Joe Malenko with Bob Cook. On the 16th, Mickey Knuckles. So some pretty good, cool interviews coming up. Robbie, anything you want to push, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna push three things.
Uh-oh.
So first we'll push the January 17th final showing at the TWA studios. So Bob Cook won't be in the match, but he'll be there. Mm-hmm. So get your tickets. And since Bob's a hugger, he'll give you a hug. He'll take a picture with you. He'll be happy to sign the autograph for you.
You son of a bitch.
Come hang out with Bob Cook. So then push my book, because a couple of weeks, it's Christmas. So you don't know what to get your friend or enemy or your loved one or hated one. What to get them. Get them this book. It's by Robbie Idol called Looking Up at the Lights. I've gotten great reviews on it, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
anything else to plug?
I got to be honest with you.
Look at that. Robbie Idol has been in the business 40 years. He finally got some credit.
Look, I'll be honest. Part of me isn't so sure that Bob didn't fake this heart attack business just so he can interfere in this match and beat your ass, Robbie. I don't know, Bob. That's what's happening.
Well, Bob Cook wishes that's what happened, but I'm actually very disappointed that I won't be able to be in the match because it's my son and I teaming up for the first time, and I don't think I'll ever wrestle again, to be honest with you. But you never say never, obviously. But I have no plans of wrestling again at the moment.
Yeah,
very depressing. Although at my age, I shouldn't have been wrestling 10 years ago. But when someone asks me, I always say, "You're okay."
Well, you know what? I would prefer you to have to now leave your boots in the ring and retire and be with us on this podcast as well than for you to get and have a match when you shouldn't have that.
I might throw a punch on January 17th in a certain guy's direction, but
I mean, you can always pull Logan Paul and get those brass knuckles.
That's true.
And maybe trip and accidentally hit Robbie in the jaw.
Oh,
there we go.
Accidentally?
We got the finish. Hey, Joe, we just got a new finish.
Yeah. And the rematch, April 11th at the Twisted Fork.
That's it.
Awesome. Guys, please subscribe to the podcast. Don't forget that you can also check us out on EC USA, on Roku, Fire Stick, and any other streaming device that you have. You just search up the app, download it. It's free, and check us out. We're on there.
You didn't ask if I had anything to plug.
I was going to get to you, Bob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna ruin his plug. He's gonna say sell your stock in Mountain Dew now because
yeah, might as well. I haven't had one since. Son of a bitch.
Bob, you have anything to plug?
No, so Ruka's not here, but unfortunately. No, I really have nothing to plug. What I'm plugging is on my Facebook page, and it's not something I'm proud of. So,
man, look, everybody.
I swear I just saw a ghost out of the corner of my eye.
Zeller says, "Good night, gentlemen. Good night, Terry. Thank you for joining in, my friend." Do you want to plug it, Bob?
No.
Man. Okay. Guys, again, subscribe to the podcast. We will be back besides my interview on tomorrow. We'll be back on Thursday to talk about AEW. And did we like it? Did we love it? Did we hate it? Join us. Join us for the conversation. I try to get to the comments all the time to have you guys be a part of the conversation. Until then, you guys have a great night.
See ya.